Justin, for those of us who do not know much about your firm and the kind of services that you provide, can you give us a brief overview?
Ingenia was set up in part to answer what we perceive to be a need, which is for people who want to come out and set up an external asset manager. We can provide outsourced services, investment solutions, which is what I do, compliance and internal audit, which is a partner of mine, Rolf, and also technology, risk management and InfoSec, which is Philippe, because we believe that there is a need for people who want to come out from existing banks to become external asset managers to be aware that they can outsource some of these functions in a one-stop solution that is cost-effective for them. We can provide very good quality. We've all got a lot of experience. We've got teams. For example, the compliance audit team is 9 people. The investment solutions team is 5. And we can do that, we think, in a efficient and fast manner. So one of the problems you have when you come out is you don't know what it might cost to set it up yourself. You don't know how long it might take to get a license. So, there's this issue. And you don't know what quality you're going to have. So for us, if you want to come out, set your own business up, and you just want to really concentrate on your clients, we can do the rest. Essentially provide you with a complete solution at a cost that is, we think, effective and something that's efficient and fast.
What is your value proposition, and why would a client come to you as opposed to other players in the market?
Singapore's quite fragmented. I might be wrong, but my understanding is that actually nobody is doing this in a comprehensive way. There are people that are doing bits, but actually to put it all together, I'm not aware of anyone that's really doing that. So the first point is, as far as I know, we're unique. And to that extent, I think that obviously, if we are unique, as I hope it is, we are offering something that isn't out there. But I think outsourcing has been around actually for quite a long time. Why do people outsource? Because they want to focus on their core competence. They want to have some certainty in terms of cost. And they want to have an understanding of a certain level of quality, the provision of that. So what we have within Ingenia are people and teams that are experienced in their own right. These are not new companies. My investment solutions business has been around since 2003, in fact. Rolf's compliance business has been around for about 5 or 6 years with 20 odd, or I think 30 clients. Philippe's InfoSec business has been around for 7 or 8 years. So really, actually, we are companies that exist with existing clients, so we know we have a service people want. We know that we have core specialist skills. But I think when we've looked at this, we estimate that when we're putting this together for people, the value proposition is not simply a money one, but let's just talk about that. We actually think we're probably somewhere in the region of 50 to 60% of the cost of an equivalent in-house solution. So yes, there is a value, but I would go further than that. It's not simply that we are potentially a lower cost than an in-house solution. It is that we think we are actually a better quality solution. And we're also saving you time, anxiety. To do what we do, you've got to go and hire maybe 3 or 4 people. Singapore is at full employment. It's not easy to find these people. And even when you find them, do they stay with you? But with us, we own this business. This is what we're doing. We're not going to run away. We're going to make sure that actually we're there to support your business. And also we are setting up a business ourselves. We're entrepreneurs in our own right. So our mindset, say compared to a large accounting firm, we think is actually more suited to the smaller institution or the RM that's looking to set up.
Are there any other examples that you can see and can add value to?
An EAM probably needs to decide whether they're really in the business of acquiring clients or investing on behalf of clients, but they can't do both well. The reality from a business proposition is that an EAM is very focused on, up to a certain level, building assets, because unless they do that, they are not going to be able to generate the revenue. So by default, that means their core focus is going to be on client acquisition. What we're providing in Ingenia essentially is a solution to purely focus on that, and until they get to a certain size where an in-house solution may make more sense, they can focus on that. So if I come specifically to the investment solutions, what we can do, what I can do is I effectively can become their CIO. I have an investment process. I have a team of 5 or 6 people, so we can do top-down macro work. We can do asset allocation. We can do fund selection. We have direct equity list, a direct fixed income list. We select alternatives. We select private assets. All of this is something that I can bring to the table because I have a team and I have other clients. So in a sense, I'm bringing a ready-made, tried, proven investment process that is a global multi-asset, multi-solution process. For someone to come out and do that on their own, I would argue is actually very difficult to do. It is possible, but it's probably quite expensive. It's probably going to take you quite a lot of time. So in a sense, on the investment solutions, if that isn't your core competence, and obviously if it is, I understand maybe I'm not suitable, then what we can provide is something that I think is very complementary to a smaller EAM or an RM coming out to set up, because they're not at a level of assets that can really justify that sort of investment. Yet, on the other hand, if you want to attract people, you need to tell people that you have an investment process and that you've got people doing things. Otherwise, you have a competitive disadvantage. So it's like how outsourcing works. You're providing a value proposition, a certain certainty, but perhaps as important, a quality and ability to get things done that you otherwise wouldn't be able to do.
What do you envision are the trends of the industry, and why do you perceive them to be so?
Move away from relying on the universal bank to private bank model and the conflicts associated with that is probably going to continue and could accelerate. I think the second one is that there are regulatory changes globally that are likely to come through Asia. Transparency, the move away from a transactional model, the move to bring transparency to pricing, etc., etc. I mean, again, all these tend to move you towards a model that is an advisory type model, a fee model. That model is quite suited, in fact, to the EAM model. So those would be 2 trends. I think 2, and maybe I'm being selfish or optimistic in a sense, but why have we set up Ingenia? Because we actually think that there is going to be a growing demand for modular approaches, i.e. people that focus on their core competence, whatever that might be, and then they outsource or in-house, but in-house outsource. So, for example, I could be someone's CIO. I could actually be in their office on a number of occasions, but I'm not an employee, but I am effectively working very closely with them. So when one says outsourcing, it sort of, there's a sense is rather remote. What we're talking about is can actually be a very close engagement. And so I see that trend happening. So just to summarize, regulatory, I think will help the advisory fee model. EAMs will grow, we think, disproportionately quickly, and that within that the scope is for more of that to be outsourced so people can focus on their core competency.
What can we do to build the capacity of the industry?
One way of growth is to enable things to scale. And one of the things that we offer in Ingenia in terms of the outsourcing is that actually that does enable scale, because I'm in a position as a CIO, outsourced CIO function, investment solutions, to actually provide solutions in investments to multiple EAMs and multiple RMs. Yes, part of that will be a technology. So, for example, we will have the ability, it's not robo-advice, I'm not convinced about robo-advice, and certainly not for the accredited investor market. They're looking more of a human interface. But, for example, we can have model portfolios. We can create an interactive ability for people to build portfolios off that within risk scoring. So we can use technology to enable people to take what we're doing and then bespoke it, and take it on down to the client. So we can do a B2B to a wealth manager, and the wealth manager can then use our systems to do a B2C approach. That actually enables significant scale, significant, not so much duplication, but significant ability to scale up without having to hire lots of different people. And that's actually where we're talking about. I don't think there's a lack of people. I think there's a lack of skill in certain functionalities. But the other problem, I think, is actually more one of mindset. It is, if, for example, when I say outsource investment solutions, that's clearly a tougher sell at the moment, because many people might think that's my DNA. I'm a wealth manager, surely I should be providing an investment solution, even if I know I don't have an investment process, even if I know I've only got skill sets in one area. I might know a bit about equities, nothing about fixed income. Oh, I've forgotten about FX. And heaven's sake, what about portfolio risk management? That's never done. So if people can change the mindset, which is, okay, my core competence is client acquisition, the relationships, I just want to focus on that. And then I outsource part or other of those functions to people who have the skill sets, and those people using technology, I think you can get quite a lot of productivity, quite a lot of efficiency gains. And you can then, it's not a people game then, it's actually making sure that you are applying the right skills to where the demand is.